All right, this is Trash Talk, everybody, and I'll explain to those of you at home and my pal MHB the wacky hijinks that went on before you were on MHB.
Hmm.
You texted me and said 1 second internet's booting up, so I read that aloud for Justin, and then I'm scrolling on my phone, and like a couple minutes go by, and all of a sudden I hear a dial tone, and then like the old dial-up internet sound, and I said, what are you calling someone, Justin? He goes, no, that's MHB's internet. And I said, what? And he goes, the dial-up internet. And I was like, I know, but it's just you and me here. Are you doing some like wacky bit? And he's like, you know me. So this is the fun house that I've created with the interns here. They're jokesters now. They have bits.
They do. They have bits. They have their own show. They have their own articles that they write, and they have all sorts of fun stuff.
Well, they write articles too.
I think so. I mean, who knows? This is a rogue. I disavow. Okay, I disavow.
Was it? Oh, you listened today. That's very nice.
I did. I tell you, I'm a fan of the show. I try to listen.
Have you caught up? Because I know you didn't listen for like 3 weeks or something. Did you catch up, or did you just jump right in?
No, I think generally I would rely on KMS quotes to lead me in the right direction as far as when I'm. But ever since I retired that account,
can I tell you the most? We've never talked about this.
Yeah,
the most psychotic thing. I'm amazed I'm still friends with you. The fact that we've gotten into arguments where you literally said, I shouldn't have believed KMS quotes before listening to the show. When I found out you ran that account, it was mind-boggling to me.
It's bewildering.
It's psychotic.
It is a little psychotic. No,
it's concerning to me that you just laugh and say, "Isn't that crazy, kids?"
I think it's completely normal behavior.
Yeah,
I think that
you're a normal guy.
It's all for show content. At the end of the day, you do it for the content, right? Isn't that what the kids say? Do it for the clout, I guess, right? Clout points. So, apparently, I'm number 2, by the way, on all-time clout points.
Oh, really?
Behind, I guess, Kevin in Bristol. I guess, according to one of the many new parody accounts. Yes.
Now, what does that mean, though? Because the clout, I don't think. Oh, is that a reward system? Because Kevin from Bristol is not like an attention whore or anything.
Now, can I just explain to you how this whole beef started?
Please. I expect this is not going to be a particularly long show because it's past my bedtime here. But I figured basically we'd let MHB rant, get things off his chest, and then tomorrow on Twitter it'll be like, "No, I didn't mean any of that shit. Fuck all of you."
Yeah, I know. This is the meme now. I'm gonna fucking apologize, take shit back. No, coronavirus is fake. We all know that it's fake. Okay. Anyway, just let's get that out of the way here. I'm with Callahan. We should all be protesting.
No, but go ahead.
I do think it's
curious, fucking. I'll tell you this. I'm more curious about why you're getting involved rather than the actual beef, but feel free to get off
why I'm getting involved. Whoa.
Yeah, because I almost look at you as above this shit at this point. You know what I mean? You had a nice period where you weren't getting so sensitive, for lack of a better word. You weren't getting so uptight about this shit for a while.
Do you take being called racist kindly, Mike?
No, but if an account on Twitter did it, I don't think I would really acknowledge it. Someone did it the other day. Someone tried
a blog that kind of is quasi associated with the show. It's trying to parrot. Obviously, yes, they say it's not associated with the show, but it's parroting itself as now. Kirk disavowed it clearly, but my thing is more so just I disavow. My thing is more so. This all just started with the bracket, okay, and
of course, yeah.
I think there was some sort of the voting was rigged. Featherston should have never taken me out. I mean, my God. The man
who won the whole thing? I asked that the other day, and
I know it was Featherston versus somebody. I don't know. I don't remember exactly.
It should have been Featherston. If we're gonna, it should have been Featherston, gang. If we're gonna get down into the nitty gritty here, but
only one man has actually protested outside with a sign in front of the Boston Globe, and that is the hero John Featherston. I think he's the one that took me out. I think it was me versus Featherston, and I'm fine with that defeat. Now, some people are going to shoot up the Wilbur because they were 2 seeds and got blown out of it. Now, I don't think I'm crazy.
I hate this entire conversation so much, by the way. I hate that everyone's taking everything so seriously. But it's all crazy. Like, even, I like Blobe. He seems like genuinely a good guy. He's been a Minifan since the beginning. He was a Trash Talk listener from the beginning.
Yeah.
And he's always been very supportive of me. But, my suggestion to him, and I think he's done it. I know he got rid of his Twitter for a while. My suggestion to him would be just take a break from Twitter if it's bothering you,
I think the bigger issue is that you're telling people like me and Blobe to take it less seriously.
Yeah.
These guys are saying, let's take it less seriously. But then when the heat, like, and their time will come, right? Because they'll, we'll retire. And this is the same thing with when, what Minifan Matt, right? Matt in Providence, he was the new flavor of the week for Kirk. He's shaking his ass and wearing a little thong. And that's so he's titillating Kirk with his new, he's the number one Minifan. And then he runs into hot water with his, BBW comment. We found out that he was a misogynist, clearly.
Sure.
I've always believed that. I mean, listen, the things that he said to me in private would horrify you. I think that you couldn't even repeat it. I think
Matt, we're kidding before there's a blow up from him now. We have to make sure everyone's all right.
But eventually those guys, they will be the characters. And, right now it's the honeymoon period. But all I got to say is eventually the guns are going to turn towards you. Metaphorical guns. Okay.
Right.
Hands up, don't shoot. I know that, we're, and I think that at that point they might see, oh, it's not as fun as I do like that they're being positive. It's a different approach, but I just think that they're of the type where like they're calling me sensitive and Blobe sensitive and things like that. But when we fight back, they're running and hiding and crying and saying that we're, going too far. Or I just think that everybody needs to either be consistent, right? So either you say that it's all bullshit and we can all shit in each other and it doesn't fucking matter, or it does matter, right? Be consistent. You can't have it both ways.
Well, that's what I would say. That's what I would say to you, though, too.
And what way have I not been consistent through this, Mike?
Not this particular thing, but I'm saying more when you
in the past?
Just in general, when you get worked up on Twitter and then you're like, I'm not really that mad about it. Like that in general is inconsistent in my eyes.
Well, because,
in these foggy eyes.
Because at the end of the day, my nearsighted sidekick,
yes.
You need to.
I've been downgraded on this show.
I'm glad you caught that. Jesus Christ, you quick. This is all those reps are paying off, my friend. Yeah. No, I think that I think you also like. Yes, I can be upset, but you have to realize that you're upset in the microcosm of a universe about a podcast about a guy that like it just is a little bit. We need to keep perspective on it. So if I get pissed off, I'm pissed off in the moment because I think people are saying that. And I think that the biggest aspect of it, and at the end of the day, this is where they're right, that this is ultimately Steve's fault. Steve really doxed me.
Yes, of course.
And if I was still an Anon, I wouldn't give a shit. I might even play the MHB race is a racist angle, right? Let's fucking embrace it at that point.
Yeah, go along with it.
Fuck that, go for it. I would have doubled down, right? They just pulled a Trump and doubled down. But when your real name is attached to it, I think you would say that it becomes a little bit different, right?
When you're being called racist, I guess my thing with you has always been, I don't think you've said anything that would get you fired. Like you've said things that would make an uncomfortable, like, why are you doing this at work? I can understand that, but I don't think you've said, to your point, you've never said anything racist. I don't think. Now, I guess if they really wanted to, they could clip shit and take it out of context and all that.
I don't know. They were doing that. That's what I texted you.
It seems
about.
Like
that's what's so strange.
First of all, that seems like so much work to do to you. You know what I mean? Like, what is the benefit of that? Then you don't have a job, but they never know that.
Well, I would just deny. I don't know who Mark Annan's balls is. I don't know fucking. You sound like a crazy person.
Easy as that.
This guy, I mean, it's almost as crazy as finding an anonymous random black guy on the internet using his first name and image to try and write an article calling somebody else racist on the internet when you're a fat bitch-titted white guy. Right. At the end of the day, it just is crazy. I think that's the craziest part about it. I know. I mean,
no, the craziest part to me is that it shouldn't be coming from someone that claims to listen to the Kirk Minahan show.
Oh yeah.
Or they just forgot. I mean, maybe if you've only been listening for the past 4 or 5 months, I guess.
Oh, there's so many.
Maybe you don't really know the Bob Murchison story. Which
maybe
it would kind of surprise me, but it's certainly possible. But it would be amazing to me to have someone listening to the podcast who thinks it's all right to take shit out of context and run to your employer and try to cost someone their fucking livelihood.
Now, did you? And I think, Phil and I squashed it. I think we're good now. I don't think, I think at some point I'd like to be friends with the guy so I can continue to make racially based jokes about him. But up until that point, I'm going to refrain. And it was a lazy joke. It was absolutely the first stupid, like, DEC gave me some fucking throwaway line, and I'm trying to okay, I'm carrying the team here, so I got to figure out something to say. So I said it's the first thing that popped into my head. It was a shitty joke. Yeah, sure, absolutely. It was the first thing that happened. But does that mean that does that mean that you can draw some vast conclusions about a shitty joke. I mean, you defended Shane Gillis.
I sure did. Who will be on interviewing him Friday, baby?
Really?
The tease is over.
Is this on comedians and Ubers?
Yes,
getting
that's exactly what it's
dropped
called.
off at work. Is that
right? Drop the mic. I'm calling.
Is that what it is? What an original.
Yeah.
What an original name.
Very clever.
Drop the mic. Wow. Okay.
Clever. A little double entendre there.
So give me. What is your perspective? I'm actually very interested in your perspective on the joke itself. Do you think it would cross the line? Do you think it deserved an apology? Because I think, Steve even texted me saying, you got to learn from Trump, man. Never apologize. Never apologize.
Yeah.
When Howie did the.
Because what good's that? What good is that apology going to get? If someone goes to your employer and says, "Hey, look at this joke MHB made,"
Mark
first of all, they got
to
finding out who that is, and by that, and then related to the Kirk Minahan show. By that time, they don't give a fuck about your apology.
We're 6 steps away from Kevin Bacon at that point, right? It's just it really is. It's a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, what's your perspective on it? Did you think that it crossed the line? I know that
he worked at a call center or whatever you said.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of it,
it's the easiest stereotype. I did the same thing today. Tim from Canton called in, and I was doing this out of support for you. I made a horrible hack racist joke. And I said this one's for MHB, and I ain't apologizing for it. No, sometimes you just throw that out there, and it's like in the course of a conversation. Who gives a fuck? Or even on Twitter, who gives a fuck? And the idea. Kirk's better at it than you or I, obviously, but the idea that you can listen to Kirk and the jokes he makes and say, this is okay, but this isn't okay. It's like, fuck you, just fucking relax.
Well, that's what you get with, I think that one of the things, and it's good with the show, is that there's a lot of different factions now. I mean, you've got people that want, I think that in a lot of ways, this new group of Minifans or Mincels, whatever, which I hate. Again, you can admit that was a Ricchioism. It was a Riccio term, the term Mincel.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think we started, at least in my mind, everyone started using it because of 3 letters I can't say anymore. Yes.
Wait, we never talked about this. So you're not allowed to talk about Oh, really?
Really? I mean, I made a couple jokes today. I can kind of do it lightly at this point, I think. But no,
are you getting Amazon packages lately?
Yes, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. What's your?
I'm cutting them open.
Do you enjoy opening Amazon packages? That's something that's fun for you.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Is it getting stuffy in here? Yeah. Oh my God. I think sniffing excessively is a symptom of coronavirus. By the way, how many days until Portnoy's dead? Can you answer that?
A month and a week, I think.
Got you to talk about it already. Wow.
Yeah. But I think I can do that because I will be participating in the Memorial 5K.
Yes, so as will I.
But you should go to kirkminahanshow.com and buy a shirt for.
Yes, it's going to be great. I'm very excited for this. I am.
Oh, you'll be running as well.
Of course I will. I'll be running.
Oh, really good. We can have our own chubby guys quadrant. We'll do it together.
I resent that sentiment, and
so do I. Neither of us are that fat.
No, absolutely not.
We're slender men,
and I think that's
handsome. We're cute.
That's honestly what hurt the most is in that article. Is by Anton Leather or whoever his name was. It was a very very pathetic and sad line about me being obese. I mean, by the way. That is the best parody account, I think. The new one. Because it's actually a true parody account that never breaks character. The MHBJ guy. The guy is MHB obese. He's fucking great. He's the best.
I've seen there's a few for you. There's MHB's something. I forget what. There's a few
MHB's nuts, and then there's the MHBJ, who's the MHB obese or MH obese.
Yeah,
I think he's him, and he is honestly, he's fucking funny. He's the best one, I think. And so he did a tweet today as I sit in my luxury 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. What is this? Is a 2,100 square foot apartment. About how the place that I live. I think it was a picture of one of those beautiful little 3-story duplexes, those little fucking townhomes that have the parking lots.
Impressive guy.
Yeah, it's great.
You must make high 2, low 3 figures. I'm guessing.
Yes, that's right. High 2, low 3 figures. But I have to give it. Do you think that it would be good content for me to do a Cribs episode? Seeing as we talk about the apartment so much.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, well, not right now, clearly.
But I think the problem is if you're worried about doxing, I think that's pretty much giving away your address. Just don't go outside. Don't go near a window. They found Steve's Airbnb by a bus that was in the background. So just be careful.
I know. I live in the city, so it would be kind of. I mean, there's a lot of different buildings, but I mean, they can try. They can definitely try. I don't know how. I'm not going to put the test out there because nothing would get past these guys. They're they have some ingenuity. That's for sure. I'll give them that.
So is there anything too though? You talking about them is what they wanted. Like you kind of going on the rant on the Minifan Show, rant on Twitter.
Well,
that's what they wanted. So why even do it? I say just someone the other day, the gentleman we brought up a few seconds ago, someone was tagging him saying that I was making anti-Semitic remarks, which everyone knows. Everyone knows the anti-Semite on the show is Steve. Absolutely. On Jackie Robinson no less, he accused number 42 of being an anti-Semite.
I'm confused. Are we talking about Barstool that you can't talk about? We're talking about Riccio.
Oh no, not Riccio. I don't give.
So someone was tagging Portnoy saying that you're an anti-Semite.
Yeah. It's saying that I like time stamping things and saying like, look
was
at this.
Was it that Maricel fuck?
No. I don't think so.
By the way, I mean
that would be Riccio, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing I think that it'd be worth.
I hope. I'll let you go in a second. I hope there's someone watching this, like that got said, "Oh, Kirk Minahan, I've seen that name before. Let me click on this, the latest video up," and is watching this episode because they're gonna have no fucking idea. We have not made sense to any outsider.
No,
but continue.
Absolutely. Yeah, World War II Felger and BJBSJ are going to be thoroughly bored to tears by the palace intrigue. I'm sure they're going to find something small detail to nitpick and ridicule me endlessly for. Yeah. Absolutely. My Target fucking bookcases in the background. Maybe they can also ridicule me for the record player.
That's why I like doing shows with you. Somehow you're the asshole.
Let's see if we can see. There's the record player. Yeah, they can ridicule me for that too. I am drinking an old fashioned. It's got a beautiful orange in there.
Ooh.
I made my own Demerara syrup actually, which is going to be
pompous fuck.
One and a half
piece of shit.
You're
right. World War II Felger, go to town on this guy. He's a fucking asshole.
1.5 parts Demerara sugar, or as the peasants say, sugar in the raw. And then 1 part water over a medium boil, and then reduced down and chilled to deliciously cold, maybe 34 degrees in your fridge. It's quite lovely.
You can burn those calories walking back and forth to your bedrooms.
Absolutely. It's a long walk. It's a long walk. It's got to be maybe 6-7 yards away. I have to tell you. Over here. No, what were we talking about? So you're saying that, we haven't made sense. Is there anything that going on in the world that is even worth making sense about?
No. I wanted to talk about this. I just think it's funny that if you turned this on for the first time,
it's gibberish.
I don't think there's not been one sentence that would make sense to anyone.
Please show this to my employer. I beg you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I beg you. Have it make sense. But you don't understand. He's talking about Red, and Red is Red at Barstool, and Red at Barstool is this Antone Leather guy. And what? Okay, come on. Let's.
Mike thinks Matt from Providence is a nice guy, but he said that's the thing. He's on that show all the time. You know.
Steve Robinson hates the Jews. Don't you know? He hates the Jews.
That they'll understand. That's the one sentence they'll get.
That's right. They will understand. And frankly, it's the one sentence that actually has the truth to it. So, what do they say? Art imitates life, as they say.
Yes.
Anything more that you like? What did you want to know about it? Like, did you like? Did you?
No, nothing really. It's strange to me. Maybe I misread the tweets then, but it's just strange to me to have this conversation with you. And then tomorrow to look on Twitter like, you motherfucker, like where you seem genuinely angry.
Well, because I think the fact of the matter is that when your real name is tied to it, it means something, I feel like, especially when you're being disingenuous. Like my point, and people were giving me shit about it, and I don't understand why. If you're going to write a blog post and you're going to be a fan of Kirk Minahan, and you're going to say in that blog post, you asked me and DEC for comment and didn't ask us for comment, that's fucked up. And then you're going to have the fucking
But don't you think they're doing that just to fucking annoy you? Like, these are not journalists, you know?
So then you have zero credibility. Do you want people to read your blog or no? Because then your blog has lost all credibility. I think it's a good idea. I think that the blog is actually a good idea. There's some good stuff on it. I like the diversity of opinions. I'm fine with being able to write whatever the fuck you want on it. But absolutely, if it's going to be a blog by fans writing about the show, there should be some actual ground rules as far as what's acceptable. I'm not asking you to delete it. Go for it. You can say whatever you want about me, but at least have the consistency. And if you're going to critique Kevin Cullen, then at least have the fucking self-awareness to know that you have to do this, abide by the same principles that you're critiquing Cullen for not having.
Wait,
No?
who do you mean, Kirk?
No, Anton Leather.
Oh,
That
you mean
guy.
these people? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy that wrote that thing. Sent out a tweet today talking about how great it is and how much of a hypocrite Kevin Cullen is, whatever. And it's like, you fucking full of shit. You didn't ask for comment.
Right.
You know, like even when when we were doing articles on the dearly departed blindsidepods.com, we would still follow all, like, that's how I even, it's for people probably forgotten about those by now, but that's how I even the character of MHB even began, was writing
I was a
the articles.
Source.
Yeah, you were one of the
I
sources.
was an early source.
I love that we can talk about this now. I mean, the stones on Mike, I got to tell you, I got to give Mike credit. And maybe a lot of the new listeners aren't going to know, but the whole inception of this, when Kirk was, when we were keeping Kirk, and we were keeping Kirk alive because right. Kirk was, he was sidelined. They wouldn't let him back to work. He provided the doctor's note, yada, yada. We know the story. Mike was the only one at EEI, one of the only ones at EEI that was feeding me inside information. The other was Paul Chartier.
Who was giving you guys really in the know. Really had their finger on the pulse.
If there's two people, Kirk, listen, Kirky boy, we got you. Listen, I got a source. I got a mole, Kirk. There are two guys. Let me tell you, two names. Going to strike fear in the hearts of Zambrano and Mark Hannon. Mike Geary, Paul Chartier.
The sad thing is it did. Like, Zambrano was terrified for whatever
reason. God. Zambrano at the White House went up to John Featherston and asked, do you know who that Mark Hannon's balls guy is? How great is that? Oh man, for the old days. Those are great.
I think the only inside info I really had for you was that they were telling me, they were scrubbing audio from my podcast, basically.
No, true.
And telling me not to talk about it.
Was that Bradford that did that?
Yeah.
No shit.
I had a
what I
never
really
talked about this. I had like
you didn't.
I had like a kind of like a yelling match with Bradford one. Not maybe I'm making it sound too heated, but he got really pissed at me once, and he called me. I remember it was on a Friday night, and he called me and was like passionately yelling at me, saying like, "Why do you keep doing this?" Yeah, he's a nice. I have no actual issue with him. He was always nice to me. But I mean, Kirk says it was fake, and he's probably right. But yeah, he was yelling at me and saying, I keep saving your ass with this stuff, and you're spitting in my face. And I forget the exact quote. Why do you keep pissing on me or something? It was something to that effect that I remember thinking it was funny.
Mike, that's what he tells his wife. That's not what he tells.
He tells you. That's what he texted me by accident.
You're getting it confused. Yeah, that was meant to be.
Why do you keep pissing on? It was something to that effect where I had to like contain my laughter a little bit, but I was like, I mean, Rob, I pitched you the idea of doing a media podcast.
Mm-hmm.
There's one big media story I'm interested in, and it happens to be in the building I'm doing the show from. Yes. So it's weird if I don't talk about it.
Yes.
Like, why I shouldn't do the show? You should just tell me not to do the show then.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was. It is funny looking back because it was almost like they were. I don't know why they just didn't have me stop doing the show. Instead of keep having me do it, but editing stuff out, I'd never understood that.
That's bizarre. And you told me, well, actually, Chartier told me that the word was that people who were inside the building, and actually, who's another one? Well, actually, I can't say, but he's friends with Callahan, and I guess claims to know Kirk. Is another guy who runs a parody account that has had run-ins with everybody in the past that people hate. But he was telling me he was getting information updates from Callahan every single day. And he's the one who told me that there were actual mandates saying that if they mentioned Kirk, if they said anything other than we hope Kirk is back soon, that there would be suspensions facing them.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be correct. Nobody's ever disputed that fact. Nobody. Yeah. No. So that, they can say all they want about that, which is to me is just such, when you look at the stock price right now and the fact that
they're climbing back up. I think they're over.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they? Well, listen, why don't you buy them up here? I know you're quite the investor. No. How are you doing right now? How's your portfolio?
Doing very well.
Yeah, you up? How much you up?
Almost into 5 figures.
Wow. Okay.
Nice little chunk of change there.
That's right.
Yeah. No. Honestly, someone sent me an article because I've talked about stocks. So someone sent me an article saying like, "Hey, look at this," and it's like top 10 stocks to watch, and I think number 2 is Entercom.
No shit, really.
Yeah, but I was talking to Steve about it, and I was just like, I know, like, not that I'm an insider at all, but like, I've seen how poorly that place is run.
Can I tell you something?
Maybe outside of Boston is different, but it doesn't seem like it from what I've seen at like WFAN. But it just like from what I know about what that play, I could never invest in it, even if it was just to make a quick buck. Like if they were going to be back up in a week, I just couldn't do it because I don't trust him. I think it'll be dead in a couple of years.
So I guess this is not. I feel bad. This is not coming from me. This is coming from somebody that I heard that there may or may not be a massive shakeup at Entercom pretty soon.
Ooh, in what are we talking?
The largest possible sense.
Really?
Yes.
Like not like a flip, a station flip?
Not WEI. I'm talking about Entercom proper.
Oh, really?
Yes. Let's just say that there are friends and sources that work for other media organizations that have said, I can't confirm or deny what's happening, but just keep an eye out because something big is something's afoot.
You saying they're a buy?
Listen, what does Portnoy say? What does he say? Play defense, buy low, sell high, buy high, sell low.
I wouldn't know anything about what he says, but
that's the Portnoy playbook. My God,
yeah.
I loved it when he fucking lost like $500,000 in a day. That was beautiful. Just watching the phone fall down. That was great. He's fumbling around for it, so pissed off because the Portnoy bravado where he's like, this is so cool. I'm the greatest. Oh, watch this. Oh, they're fucking. No, fuck you. This is the easiest thing ever. Oh, look at this. You've been day trading for 35 years. Oh, I'm 5 minutes into the game, fucking better than you. And then just watching him lose real money. You got it. It warmed your heart, right?
It's a real shame. It's a real shame.
Are you not allowed to say anything more on that, Mike?
I don't think so, really.
Let me just say, how are you feeling right now?
Good.
Yeah, that's good. Why, so it makes you feel good.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So it makes you feel good. Okay.
Yeah.
KMS quotes. It makes Blind Mike feel good that Dave Portnoy lost half of his fortune.
Now we're twisting word. Of course, he will listen to this and get the real context.
Yes, of course he will.
He's a man who does his research.
If there's one thing about the chief media head of content for Barstool Sports, I know that he listens to all the content.
It's worth it to know he would have to sift through this to find the actual quote. So
do you think the Mincel boys know that Portnoy doesn't give a shit about anything on the Kirk Minihane YouTube channel?
So do those guys annoy you too?
No, I like John. Yeah. I mean, John's an MHB guy.
I like all of them, honestly. Well, Phil, I like when I've talked to him, but then it seems like, I don't know, is he two-faced or am I reading him wrong or what's the deal?
First of all, Mike, I resent that racist comment. He's not two-faced.
I didn't.
Okay, wow. Right. Wow. Okay.
That is how I meant it.
Mike,
I'm glad you called me out for that.
Racist. Wow. Listen. All right, Mike. Why don't you just go slow your roll here, talking about the color of his face? My goodness, you're just ridiculous. No, I think Phil. I think
he's just a kid. He's a 20. He's a kid.
Yeah, and I like that I think that he's a fighter. I do. I think that, and a lot of those guys I like. Like I see a little bit of what I wish I could do now.
Yes.
They're doing
young protege.
Yes, I think I see myself in them, and if I think that's really the compliment that they want to hear is that I really see a lot of young MHB in Phil from the Discord. I do. I really
warm their heart. I'm glad.
I'm sure. Well, because they're going under the veil of anonymity now. Whether or not it's a good idea for them to be commenting on YouTube videos with their real names, it's just silly. Like you got to cover your tracks a little better than that. It's also a little bit different because they're using their faces on things, which I think is odd, but I envy how they have this spirit of, I'm just fuck it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to attack, at least online. Then when they do a show, they just want to like have fun. I think that's a little odd considering that Kirk's show is very vitriolic and their show is very happy.
Yeah.
But Kirk's show like today, or the other day was very happy too was it today with the song? With the Van Halen song?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yesterday was Van Halen.
Yeah. Yes, right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, so I guess it goes on the polar opposites of it. But dude, what did you think about this? Because people were saying that DEC and I have no chemistry. We haven't done a show together.
I disagree with that.
Did you think that? What did you think? What was it like other than the clear, blatant racism and all that, the hate speech and yada yada?
Yeah, I was very offended by it, but I can put that aside.
Of course, but that's what you consume on a daily basis. I mean, you're a Shane Gillis fan, and you're a white man, so of course you're a racist fuck. So. And you're a fan of comedy, and comedy's mostly made up of racists. By the way,
just the white men.
Fuck, we missed an opportunity, and I'm fucking pissed too. Because have you listened to Tim Dillon on Rogan?
Recently, no.
He just was on there, I think.
No, I haven't heard this one.
Yeah, fuck. Well, next week when we do this, or next time we do this, we should talk about Tim Dillon on Rogan because every time they're fucking together, it's phenomenal.
Oh, good. I'll listen.
I'm a huge Tim Dillon fan now.
As am I. Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah,
did I turn you on to him, or did you know him before?
No, you turned me on to him, and he's fucking those videos that he does about the coronavirus cruise, like fucking I'm going on. It's or the ones where he's what's her name? McCain, was it Megan McCain or whatever?
Oh, yes, yeah. I can do it. Do you want to know a funny story about Tim? Well, me trying to get Tim Dillon on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I originally, like back in December, I originally started trying to book. Basically the podcast I did last Sunday, the stand-up review show, was essentially just going to be me trying to interview comics, like I'm doing with Shane.
Yeah.
But I've just gotten to the point where it's like, it's just not possible. I'm just not going to get enough guests.
Mm-hmm.
So I emailed a bunch of people that were going to be in Boston. Like I wanted people in studio,
mm-hmm.
and I found Tim Dillon's, I think, manager's email.
Okay.
And I said, hey, I saw Tim's going to be in Boston. Like, I'd love to get a chance to interview him, blah, 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 the whole spiel.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, that's possible. Also, Chad Daniels, who's another comedian that I like, not as much as Tim Dillon, and I don't think he'd be as interesting in an interview.
Mm-hmm.
She said, Chad Daniels is in Boston a couple weeks later. I think he'd be good for you as well. And me never having booked a guest before, said, all right, I'm going to play ball with this lady. I said, okay, great. Let's get Tim on first and see how that goes. And then we'll get Chad on, which I don't think that's that crazy, but maybe I came off like an asshole. I don't know. And then she replies, so what you're saying is you won't have Tim on, you won't have Chad on unless I give you Tim. That's a weird, aggressive play right off the bat. And I was like, oh, well, no, actually, I got all nervous and panicked, and then I never heard back from her again.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how every Tinder date and conversation has gone with Blind Mike.
Yes, right? Until Alba. Until Alba. Yeah.
Yes, until sweet Alba has. That's and you're dating up. I remember she was a wonderful one. Very nice.
A nice lady.
Yes,
she's
nice
sleeping
lady.
in the other room right now. We could go wake. We could do like Tim Green. I mean, not Tim Green. Fucking Tom Green shit. I could go wake her up.
Go for it. But anyway, other than that fact, that wonderful story, which is actually pretty funny. What did you think of DEC and I back together, the reunion show? Thoughts?
That was good.
Yeah.
I had no. I mean, you guys said I didn't agree with everything you said, but as far as chemistry, I thought I didn't notice.
What did you disagree with?
That could have been an episode in fucking last March, and I wouldn't have noticed.
What did you disagree? You thought that because I think Kirk said that it was a DEC pity party or something like that.
Yeah, no, I disagreed with Kirk on. I think he misunderstood what DEC was trying to say, and DEC said that. But no, I disagreed with you guys on like just the YouTube stuff in general. DEC kind of said there's no place for YouTube is not a place for long form content, which just isn't true. And he also said that
I would never. Be on a YouTube
he said you're asking too much. He said you're asking too much of your listeners to demand that they listen, they consume all this content. And my response to that would be,
don't consume it.
No one gives a fuck if you listen or not. Like, if you don't listen, it's fine. Not everyone has time to listen to everything.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, me personally, I don't think I'd ever be on a YouTube show. Definitely not.
But you're on it right now.
No, it's a podcast.
It's Sly Dog.
What the fuck, Mike? You tricked me. I thought this was a podcast.
Not anymore, my friend.
This is a fucking
Talk
show.
Is KMS property.
Oh God.
That's what happened when they signed me. They bought Trash Talk. It was a big deal.
It does.
It was in the trades.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah.
But it also warms my heart knowing that you have like 45-year-old grown men watching this for the slightest slip up that I could make so that they can make fun of me or whatever, I think that
the only people watching this are to say either you or I suck.
Yes.
And to find quotes that they can clip and put on Twitter.
Yeah. And are people down on you again, or have you just stopped caring at all what people say about you?
No, I've stopped caring. Yeah. I can't fully say I've stopped caring because this has been like 2 weeks. It's been cool. Mike's been in town for like a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't say. I mean, I certainly haven't stopped caring, but it's just like when everyone calls with the exact same thing, I'm not going to argue with every one of them. You know what I mean? Eventually, I can't. No, I'm not. I'm not stupid. I'm smart. I'm not dumb. Like everyone
I'm wicked fucking smart. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
So eventually, you just got to kind of roll with it.
Okay.
And I am dumb. I'm a fucking moron. So why do I keep fighting?
As am I. It's all good.
All right,
So I
buddy.
think
Anything
that-
else you want to? I feel like we had a nice little run here. I didn't expect
Yeah.
this to be a crazy long podcast, so I feel like
No,
we've done a
it's
good amount of
good.
time. Unless there's something you want to get off your chest.
Yeah. So I think that we need to talk about the real identity of some of these people. I think it's now time for MHB doxing hour.
No, I don't. I don't agree with that.
As I put on my notes.
Everyone just fucking relax. And even to a degree, I should relax because I'm getting all worked up about it and saying, why are these people getting worked up about it? Well, I shouldn't even be paying attention to it, probably. But
Okay.
in a way, I mean, it is content still. Like, it's fun to talk about and make fun of people, you know?
I think it's time to move on. Like I'm getting tired of it too. So I can't even
Agreed.
imagine the listeners. I mean, they must be
Agreed.
fucking sick of it. So I think for the good of the show, it's time to retire, bury the hatchet, and
Yes.
let bygones be bygones.
Thank God.
Yes,
Thank God we hashed it all out.
yes, we got.
How's your
so-
quarantine going?
It's good. I mean, listen, I think that the invisible enemy is retreating, as we know, and the economy should be open.
You're
so
damn right, baby. The
I think-
Trumpsters getting us back in line.
well, okay, listen. I mean, 60,000 deaths, the same as a really bad flu year. That's what they're projecting. It's at like 28,000 right now.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You gotta
It is what
crack
it
a
is.
few eggs to make an omelet. I
That's
always
right.
say.
You know what? It's like, listen, I got a funny joke for you. The other day, I said something. You said we got to open up the economy, and someone said to me, "Name a family member you're willing to lose." And you know what I said? My mother-in-law. Can you believe it?
Boom!
Boom! Goosh! Goosh!
I kind of enjoyed that.
I gotta say, this is pretty good, right? Yeah.
I said my mother-in-law.
I said my mother-in-law.
I don't know why we're doing dice. That's more of a Rodney Dangerfield.
I get no respect. No, listen. That's right. The BJBSJ guys. I get no respect from these guys.
I do think we're on. I think we're on the other side of this thing, though. I think we'll be.
Really?
I think we're gonna have a summer. That's my prediction.
Over under 35,000 deaths. Because we should be there by same time next week if the numbers don't go down, which they're saying that this was the worst week of it. So over under. Let's over under 30,000. What you're gonna bet?
Under would be kind of disappointing, right? Like
I
if it's
know.
gonna be, if we're gonna go through all this hassle, we've got to get to more than 30. I would hope.
Well, I know New York is now retroactively counting the dead. People that they think, quote unquote, died from corona but never tested. So I think they added like 3,000 to the toll so that guys like Jerry Callahan can say, oh, look, they're inflating the numbers so that they can get more funding.
Well, I have heard from people who work like nurses that have said that some of the people that have died from coronavirus haven't been tested for coronavirus. They just have some of the symptoms. So it's not, some of those numbers are like just genuinely they are off. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Listen, no, I think I have to say I think I'm thoroughly disgusted by both sides. I think that especially the left. Well, I think the right has been just as fucking irritating on this issue because, people like Callahan. Did you see the tweet that he put out today about the protesters praising these protesters in Michigan for like causing like one of the biggest traffic jams in Michigan history because they drove to the Capitol in Michigan, like and I guess just sat in their cars honking their horns. I don't even think the government. Because that will solve everything because they're protesting the fact that Michigan has some of the most aggressive lockdown measures. They can fine people like $1,300. Philly, I mean, now they just passed that in Philadelphia. You have to wear a mask in public, or not in public, but in essential spaces. Like if you go to the grocery store and you're not wearing a mask, you can get issued a fine. Like, yeah. So I mean, I get why
we've started doing that. Me and the skirt.
Oh, really? You guys wear
only not if we go for a walk, but if we go to the grocery store or the bank or something, we'll wear a mask.
What a fucking pussy!
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Surely. Yeah, that's not real, right? Coronavirus.
I do it to keep her quiet. You know.
That's right. Yes.
Keep
okay. Keep the
rattling those pots and pans, sweetheart. You know.
No, I mean, I think that the Callahans are being ridiculous with this stuff of saying that this is because he's the first one when there's a climate change, and there's a great tweet. I think that that guy Jeff from the BJBSJ guys tweeted it out, where it was a screenshot of Callahan talking about running over protesters for climate change, blocking a highway.
That's fun. Yeah.
And then there was a tweet from today of him praising the protesters here blocking the highway. Shows the consistency.
Maggots.
Look at these freeloaders on the dole, and then same thing. Well, first of many exercising our civil rights. Like,
attaboy.
So stupid.
Oh, the beer dog.
Because I mean, But then you got people that are like, is it me? Like, if hydroxychloroquine works, I don't care if Trump endorses it or not. Like, I feel like I saw an article today about Tom Hanks's wife, and I read it, and I was gonna retweet it, but I just didn't because I'm afraid of WW2 Felger. But it said that she took hydroxychloroquine when she was sick with it, and then she said that she had some really bad symptoms. What's buried in the article is that after taking it, her fever went away like the next day, but she's like, my fever might have already gone away on its own, right? This doesn't have to be, but she had dizziness and vertigo. Like at the end of the day, like I really feel like if you're going to root for there's a Jewish doctor, a study I read that he said that he's got like a 96% success rate in somewhere in Long Island.
Yeah, well, you know how those guys are with numbers, you know?
Listen, don't tell Steve Robinson that. He probably, but you know, like at the end of the day, whatever works. How about we just wait and see what works? Like, I feel like people are rooting for hydroxychloroquine not to work. People are rooting for the whole country to fucking shut down. Like, can we just put the partisan bullshit aside for one second and start trying to find a solution? I don't know.
Let's all calm down. Let's all calm down and do what Julie DeCaro did. You know, she's a survivor.
Pretend to have coronavirus.
May we all be so brave. She might have had it, and if she did, she's incredibly brave, and I applaud her.
What a tweet. I just got to say,
fucking asshole.
It's almost impressive how she does it. Like she's almost become a meme.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the account, there's that great account. What's her name? It's a famous parody account. They pretend to be a left-wing woman. You know who I'm talking about?
I'm not sure. I'm sure I would have. I'm sure I've
seen it.
What's that?
Titiana McGrath.
Yes.
Yes. I have.
Yeah. Thank you, Justin. Thank you.
Look at him producing. Good boy.
Look at this. Good job. He's actually listening. I would have fucking tuned this shit out like 30 minutes. I'd be jerking off right now if I was him. But no, like it's almost she's approaching that level of parody right now. It's just if you think that she can put out the most extreme, contrived, me first, self-centered take, she's going to do it and she's going to top it. It's great.
I always say I'd love to have a conversation with those people privately to find out what they're like. But Julie DeCaro, I think, is
insufferable.
The real deal. Yeah, I think she's like that all day, every day. I don't think it's a character. I just think she's insufferable. And Kirk kind of said it in a way that made me think about where I was like, don't make me feel bad for Julie DeCaro. But
what did he say?
Well, he said, in a way, you kind of have to feel bad for her because she's just a lonely person.
Oh, absolutely.
Like she needs attention because she's a lonely, kind of miserable person. And in that way, it's the same, like we've said this about Murchison before. You kind of feel bad for him because in a way they do live a sad life.
I mean, if she faked coronavirus, what else did she fake? Do you think she faked some of those death threats on Twitter?
That fucking law degree she claims to have, who knows?
That book she claims to be writing?
Yeah, that's definitely fake. We'll see when that comes out.
Oh, God. Listen to the vile hate speech of these trolls. He sicked his trolls on me.
Right. It'd be great. That would be great if it was a Kirk Minahan book.
It should. Totally devoted to Kirk Minahan.
That I would buy.
Yeah, I got to do a deep fake trying to get in her good graces to see what she knows. I think that'd be interesting. Yes. It'd be fun. Anyway, this was fun.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
that we managed to make it through without I guess starting another war. It was this was fun.
Great. When you and I get together, that chemistry, baby, it just takes us through. We don't even need things to talk about.
I know. Well, just wait till tomorrow. We'll see what people freak out about tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll hate it. But
oh yeah.
All right, buddy. I got magic to create in the morning. I got to get to bed.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if you suck tomorrow, you can blame me. Everybody else will.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. All right,
man.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Later.